Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Scribble Time with your host, Nolan Lee. That is me. And I got my morning coffee, and I'm ready to start sketching. So, yesterday we did a theme on superheroes. Today we're going to be doing supervillains. So feel free, if you guys would like to have a certain character drawn in the Panda style, feel free to mention it in the chat, and we can get started. So the first one that I see is from Hans, and he's asked for Baron Zemo. So I'm going to start with that one. Meanwhile, everybody else, feel free just to post in the chat or post on the Facebook page the character that you would like to see pandafied. Alright, so I'm going to pull up, I have another page that's off screen that tells me what the character kind of looks like, so I'm just going to do that. So Baron Zemo, I know he looks a lot different in the comics than he does in the movies, so maybe we can do both. where maybe we could do Baron Zemo as we just give him the little diamond shape like so, and then he has little things like that. I'm actually not too familiar with the comic version of it, but I first heard about him obviously with the movies because lately I haven't been much of a comic guy, but I've been more of a movie buff, so to speak. So I'm gonna do this where we're gonna give him, or I guess his nose isn't really gonna show, but we're gonna give him the eyes like that. And we're going to give him the little mask. So I had a lot of fun yesterday working on the superheroes. That was a lot of fun. I actually started out when I first started drawing the pandas, I actually did like a set of superhero characters for an upcoming convention, a comic convention. So that's not how I started getting my name out there. Getting my work out there was to do something public, like a comic convention, and it was really beneficial for me to do that because one, people get to see your work out in public, and even though they may not hear you, if you're in a public place like a convention, then they can you get some traffic where people just walk by, and even if they don't buy your stuff, it's you're out there. Obviously it's a little bit different now, but in time maybe that will change. And also with the internet, you have your very own store. You have your very own web page, a place where you can post your stuff, and it's anyone can discover it. But obviously you kind of have to do some work to make people aware that your page exists. And back in the day, if you had like a concert that you're holding, say you're a musician and you wanted people to come to your concert, and there's no way for people to hear about it, you would have to do things like print flyers and put them on telephone poles, or you go to bulletin boards and do all those sorts of things to just generate that interest. And that's what we call marketing. And so I would always, when it comes to marketing, it's about getting people's attention. If you want people to see your work, you have to put it out there in places where people can see. Obviously there's good ways to do it, and there's not so great ways to do it. For example, if you just go around putting your stuff in people's mailboxes without them asking, it's probably not the best, probably not the most considerate way, because people don't like getting stuff that they don't want in the mail. But when it comes to when it comes to more passive marketing, where you say you have you have it out in some place where people manage to walk by and they so happen to see it, it's a little bit more what's the word, forgivable, I suppose. Okay, so I'm just gonna give him a little belt. He has this weird kind of belt like that. And then he has these special golden gloves here. Now, one way that I make things shiny is that I'm going to give him a little bit of a sword here. One way that I make things shiny, so this is a tip. So when you look at something shiny, you'll see like really dark and really light shapes or shiny values on your sword. Value means the black and white quality of your drawing. So like having really dark shadows or really bright lights, that tends to happen a lot with shiny stuff, and really it's just a reflection of whatever that thing is in the room. So usually when you have like a shiny glass, if you look at it in your room, if you look closely enough, the object, the shiny object that you're trying to draw, is going to reflect all the stuff that's in your room, and so it's going to reflect all the bright things, and it's going to reflect all the dark things. And if you have, say you have something that's gold that's in your room, or say the shiny thing is gold, it's going to give a gold tint to everything in the room, but you can still look closely enough and see that it's actually reflecting stuff in the room. So for example, like if I had like a dark table in the room, it would reflect that here, and if there's maybe another dark object in the room, it would kind of show it up there. So that's kind of how you make things feel a little bit shiny, is to add these little bits where, and you don't want to overdo it, because if you add too much, then it looks a little bit too busy. So I'm just going to add just a little bit here, because this is kind of a cheap. So if you want to make something shiny, you can just add something something dark right here, and then usually it's light like that. In this case, I'm just going to redo this one, or I'll just leave it like that. And then so this is Baron Zemo, and so I got a couple more suggestions, and obviously after you do a drawing, you should sign it. I think I'm not sure if that's exactly what you wanted in mind, or if you wanted the MCU version. I got a request for Poison Ivy and for Venom. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Let me just double check, because I haven't drawn Venom in a while. So we're gonna get that look here. And let's see. Okay, so Poison Ivy. We'll start with Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy I don't have to do as much reference, because there's been so many different versions of Poison Ivy that, and plus I've watched the cartoon, the Batman cartoon, so I kind of am familiar with what her costume is like. And I do like the Batman animated series a lot, because one, they actually simplify a lot of the shapes, so you're not getting a lot of the musculature and the really intricate details in it. They just stick with the most simplest details to kind of convey the character, and so you get really let's see, I'm just trying to draw and think at the same time. So you get really the basic look of the character, like, and it's kind of like what I like that approach when you're doing when you're making characters, is to ask yourself what's the minimum amount of elements that you can incorporate into your drawing and still retain the likeness of your character. And so what I'm going to do here, I'm trying to let's see, my idea is I'm going to have her hold a rose. Sure. But she's Poison Ivy, so all the roses aren't exactly, they aren't very friendly. Because she's not a very friendly person. She's kind of she is a bad guy. Because this is all about supervillains. I don't think I've I've drawn a Poison Ivy panda before. Okay. All right. So I see also in the chat, just a blocky panda, the IRS, Thanos. These are good ones. Well, today, so I'm getting some requests for a blocky Minecraft style pandas. I'm going to hold off on that for tomorrow, because today's theme is supervillains. We're focusing on doing the bad guys, because sometimes having a good story requires tension, and so that's one way to think of a story, is like to make it a little bit more interesting, is to have these tensions where you have the battle between good and evil, or two opposing forces, or so we're gonna stick with that theme for today, and then perhaps we can do the more free flow tomorrow, since it's a Friday. I'm trying to do something. I was trying to do something with bending the leg, but I think it's probably better if I do something more like this. Okay, I can't have it too dark. So I'm going to also give her some other plants too. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to hold off. But if you can give an idea for a bad guy, then I'd be more than then I can do that one, because I want to stick with the theme today. So keep them coming. I'm checking the chat, and so even though I have my head down, I'll poke up my head every now and then to check what you guys have to say. So she usually wears these kind of high boots, like that. So this is our poison ivy. Let's give her a little bit more hair. It's okay if I draw over my character. It's sometimes it's necessary to do so. Okay, so that's our poison ivy. Let's see here. Okay. So this suggestion came with 2, so it says Venom. So because of that, I'm gonna move on to another one, just to give a chance for other people to get their suggestions. I'll come back to Venom because I want to do Venom. Venom looks, a Venom Panda would be pretty cool. All right, so that's let's put poison ivy over here. I'm gonna turn off Baron Zemo, and then we're gonna do Thanos. Of course we gotta do Thanos. Thanos Panda, it's got to he's got his wrinkly chin. He's got a big, I mean, he's already bald, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. But we'll keep him all purple, I suppose. He's definitely one of my favorite villains. I think that's at least one of the more interesting ones. It's a shame that they can't keep him around. Spoilers. Not like anyone could see that coming. It's like, oh right. Let's see. Let's see here. Which hand is he doing it in the gauntlet? I think he's doing the right hand or the left hand. I can't remember. Oh, he's always doing it the left hand, I think. Yeah, he's always in the left hand. Well, I can just move him over like this. And I'm gonna give him a little bit of a beefier look this time compared to the other pandas. So. But I love this design of his armor because it's just, I don't know, it's just a nice simple design. It doesn't have to be super extravagant. Okay, and this I'm not gonna focus too much detail on the let's see, I'm gonna get this proportionality right. Not gonna put too much detail in his limbs and his boots and all that stuff because I think most of the detail is always gonna be with of course the gauntlet, the thing that everybody's fighting over, his goal, his it's always interesting when that movie came out, Infinity War came out. It was interesting to hear people's take about how the movie was basically like Thanos is the hero of that movie. That's one way to look at it, where he's trying to achieve a goal and everybody's trying to prevent him from achieving his goal, and so he finally overcomes the odds and takes out, or finally vanquishes his foes, because he's trying to do what's right, what he believes is right, and ultimately destroys everybody else. Oh, okay. I gotta kind of redo this a little bit because I have to show all 6 Infinity Stones, and so you guys might not like this. I'm gonna flip the character because I want to get that gauntlet in there, or maybe let's see here. Can I still do that gauntlet? Yeah, I'll do it like this. Okay. Captain America, I see in the chat, Captain America. I drew Captain America yesterday, and I guess depending on if you see him as a villain or not, you could he's not a villain, unless you want to count what they did in the comic books where they made him a villain, which I am not a big fan of that kind of thing. By the way, if you guys are comic book aficionados, comic books shops are needing a bit of help, so probably would help to go and visit and provide your patronage to them, if possible, whatever way, because there's probably a lot of them that are not going to be able to do very well given the circumstances. So be sure to go visit some of your independent bookstores too. And I'm friends with the owner, Dan, at Brick and Mortar Books, so those businesses are probably closed down, but just reach out to them and see if there's ways that you guys can help them out. So with that said, okay, so here's like the Infinity Gauntlet. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to go like this, because my pandas don't really have fingers, so I have to kind of invent these fingers in here. So I'm just gonna go this ding ding ding. Okay, all right, so we got Thanos. I'm gonna check, see, IRS. We'll do the IRS because that's a clever one, I think. Let's do that one. IRS is, I know, let's not, I know people have jobs there, but it's a joke, it's fine. So apologies if anyone is an employee of the IRS. I'm pretty sure times are stressful right now, but you know, it's a joke, so it's fine. I can't imagine anybody working at the IRS is, you know, not aware of their public perception in general. Not to also to say, like, for example, like, I'm pretty sure lawyers, I mean, not all lawyers are, like, you know, it's viewed negatively. I mean, there's a lot of different types of lawyers, right? There's a lot of different accountants, and so, you know, there's always that stereotype. I mean, school teachers also get it too, right? Every time you see school teachers in let's see, I'm doing like a little calculator here, so I'll just show the and you could also tag any friends who work for the IRS. Maybe they might get a laugh at this, maybe not. We'll see. I'm guessing most of the time people have a okay sense of humor with themselves. I mean, you kind of have to these days. Yeah, like school teacher, substitute teachers, I'm pretty sure they kind of know the stereotype about themselves, or, you know. I mean, I'm an artist and I know some stereotypes about us, so it's fine. This is the audit. This is kind of a lazy way, but I'm just going to put it there just in case if it wasn't quite so obvious. All right. Okay, let's do another super villain. Let's see. Hello, Jackie, Jenny. Okay, so we got a few more. Reverse Flash and Loki. I missed. Let's do Venom, because Venom is a cool one. I like Venom. So he's this one's gonna be a bit. I'll try not to make this one super scary, but Venom's not really. Not really a huggable type of guy, but I'll try to make him kind of cute. So. Sort of cute. I don't know how cute this is, but let's see. I'm trying to make his hand feel like a claw. Let's see. Let me try to fix that here. Gotta be careful with these thumbs because they're very stubby, so you want to make sure that they feel like they that it still feels like the Panda. Venom is obviously very he's like a big giant ink blotch, so it's like, you know, you can just paint him all black. course, he has the spider. I'm gonna do the spider logo here. I don't really understand in the movie. I never watched the movie, but I don't understand in the movie how you can do a Venom without Spider-Man. Seems kind of strange to me because his look is basically, I mean, that's his origin. Is the suit came from fusing with Spider-Man's suit, so I don't get how they were able to do that. But you know, they have ways to make it work, I suppose. Okay, so he also has all these other tendrils and stuff that's like... Here, let's go like this. I think his head has to come up a little bit higher. There we go. That makes it a little bit better for me. Makes sense to me, but may not be so obvious to everybody, but you know, then he's gonna have little blotches of blobs and stuff like that where cover up that bit here. Okay, so I'm gonna do Hela after this. I want to get to Loki because like I like Loki as well. Just good characters. I liked Hela. I wish she stuck around a little bit longer, but you know, they gotta pay these actors. Okay, so there's Venom. Okay, let's go to Hela. Oh, let me see here. Okay, let's go. Sorry, you're gonna take a look into my filing system. I like to name villains. Okay, then so this is how I save it. I usually save it with the timestamp like 2020-03-26. Scribble times super villains. And I like to do it that way because it helps to organize my files well. So okay, Venom, and then we're gonna do Hela. Let me just, because I know Hela has these let's see, how do you spell Hela? I think Hela was, okay, yeah, there we go. All right, Hela has these crazy horns. I'm gonna need more space, so I'm just gonna move it over here. Might have to move Venom off to the side. All right, sorry about that if you're copying at home. Let's see here. Yes, I know she has this crazy helmet that's really cool looking. Gotta make sure I fit those ears in there first before So what makes a good shape, what makes a good design for these Marvel characters is always with a lot has to do with the silhouette. Silhouette meaning the outline of the forms, right? So if you actually fill in your character drawing all the way, if I color all this in black, like if it still looks like the character outline, like if you can still recognize the character, then that's a good mark that you've got a good readable design, at least from that aspect. The other things that are taken into account for sure, but silhouette is definitely one of the things that is really a powerful way to improve your drawings. Because, for example, if you're designing for video games, your character is going to be seen from a very far distance, so it really helps to be able to read the outline of your character well, and so that you won't get lost or disoriented when you're in a battle or something like that, and there's all this stuff going on. You want to be able to find out where your character is so you don't die. So you find out where your character is, and then you can take action and defeat the enemies or whatever activity you have to do. So there's these little spokes and stuff, little prongs. I think there might be one more. I think it's like, it's kind of a challenge because I want to make sure these ears also read as well. So I'm just going to go like that. Really cool helmet design. Just like, and also she had a lot of bravado in that film. Okay, that was probably the part that's going to take the longest, and the rest of it's like, the rest of it's going to be her posing like this, so to speak. So yeah, we got about less than half an hour, so keep them coming. If you know of any other parents or families or anybody else who would be interested in seeing or spending an hour just hanging out and being able to see an artist draw and ask questions and give suggestions, feel free to share this on YouTube or share it on Facebook or Twitter or what have you, and because this is an opportunity for people who may not be able to attend art class at the moment to be able to get some exposure to and access to an artist. So to a real artist, or not a real artist, I hate to say that, to say an artist a professional artist, so someone who is actually trying to who's actually doing this for a living. So I would recommend forwarding this over and sharing it with other people. And if there's any other additional questions that you may have that we are not able to cover in these sessions, feel free to always message me on Instagram or Facebook and so forth, and I'd be happy. Sometimes I take a while to get back to people, but most of the time I eventually get back to everybody. It's just things get a little bit crazy sometimes, especially while working from home, and so I try to do my best to get there. So okay, so she has all these crazy designs, but I'm not being too exact with them. I'm just kind of just loosely placing them here and there so that they kind of sort of look like what's in the film. So because it kind of. But the main point, this is the point I focused on the most. So I'm putting more of an emphasis there versus the other parts of her design. So I'm just, let's see, I could do that. Give her, maybe I can give her a cape. I don't know if it's necessary. Maybe I can, because it gets all a little bit lost in this detail. So all right, so then we have our Hella there, and I'm just gonna check the chat again. Thanks, Derek. Let's go to, let's see. We got the IRS. Let's do Loki, and then we got Reverse Flash. So Loki also has a cool helmet too. Let's see here. So he's I mean, it's interesting because he's sort of a bad guy too. I mean, he's sort of a good guy. Obviously, he did a lot of bad stuff in New York. He has these crazy horns. Trying to make him feel a little bit off, so I'm just gonna probably move him a little bit this way. Okay. I'm going to move Hella a little bit. I'm going to put Hella over here so at least I get room to put his staff and his infinity. Then we have the little tesseract, the little cube here. Okay. So, can I get a can I get a boo for all the super baddies that we're drawing so far from everybody? 1, 2, 3, boo! Well, sometimes a good story, what makes a hero great is if you have also a really a um, really good villain too. You know, that's why the Joker is always very popular, because it's like he has to have a very strong hero. You almost have to have a great villain that he has to fight against to overcome. So. Because if the hero beats up everybody all the time, then it kind of gets to be kind of a boring story, because then there's nothing really to challenge him. So that's why they even gave it's kind of reason why like Superman has a weakness, even though he's more powerful and stronger than anybody in the universe, except maybe Darkseid. But the point is that you want your characters to have something to challenge them. Unless you're One Punch Man, which is one of my favorite shows. Okay, all right. So that's the Loki. Let's check the chat again. Okay, so we got Reverse Flash. Okay, Reverse Flash. And we are about 15 minutes left, so keep them coming. You could probably fit another one or two more drawings. So I'm going to turn off. We got Loki here. Reverse Flash, I think just looks like Flash, if I remember right. Owen really likes, or Owen watches the show, the Flash show, so she I can't exactly keep up with it, to be honest, because every time I take a break and I walk in on her shows, I'm like, so what happened? And it's like, there's all this stuff that has she then just like has to explain to me all the stuff that happened in all the series, and it's like she gets a bit annoyed. So I don't do that anymore. I'm gonna give him like these white eyes to make him look a little bit more sinister, because I think I'm trying to remember how that belt went. I think it was like, it's kind of more like this. Little. So one way to that was a good trick for drawing lightning, is if you can draw one line, and then the second line you can draw similar to it, but then at the corners you want to make them. So if I draw a line like this, you can draw one line like that that's very erratic, and then the second line you could draw it, but then when you get to the corners, you can make them a little bit more pronounced, like that, and it kind of makes it feel a little bit more like real electricity. So little tip there for you. So that's a reverse flash for you. I think that's, yeah. Yeah, go like that. All right, so I think we got what? I think that's pretty much it. So we got one more suggestion. Maybe there's one more in here that I missed. I see stuff about, let's see, blocky. I drew the creeper already in the previous one. But maybe I can draw, let's see here. Yeah, I don't really see much of any other suggestions. So, oh, Joker. Okay, we gotta do one more Joker. Of course we gotta do Joker. Okay, I'm gonna do the, let's do the Joker. This might be a bit scary for some kids, but or here, let me. Oh, I drew flash on the reverse flash on the same layer as Loki here. Okay. I'm gonna change his eyes, or maybe I won't change his eyes. So there, I don't have much distance between the eyes here, so I'm gonna make the smile a little bit shorter, so that so you can get these little diamonds under the eyes, because the panda's anatomy is a little bit different than, say, a human. Here, or maybe I give him a smile so at least he can. I almost feel like I need to give him like the crazy eyes. Just he looks like a kind of a fat comedian, I guess. I always get confused too when I'm drawing jackets. I have to always double check to make sure that the button is always on the right side, because Uh, so for you kids who don't know, men's jackets and women's jackets have buttons on different sides of them. Men's jackets, the left side of the jacket is in front of the right, believe it or not. He's got these weird clown shoes. It seems a bit tall. I'm going to squish him down just a little bit to get him a little bit pudgier. There we have it. I get these little shoulder. The funny thing with the pandas is they don't really have shoulders, so I have to kind of like cheat them with whenever I'm making a suit for them. So it's a little bit tricky whenever whenever I'm drawing suits with collars and stuff, because they don't really have shoulders, so I have to kind of cheat around it. I think I get it to look okay enough. What do you think? What do you think? Okay, I think that's about it. Let's see here. Just gonna raise the eyebrow line, the hairline above. I could put eyebrows like here, but you can't really see them, so I'm just gonna leave those out. Make the ears a little bit more pronounced. And there we have it, our last supervillain. Okay, well, thanks again, guys. This one was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of really cool characters that I haven't drawn before. But I want to, so if you guys have any feedback or what have you about things you like to see on the show, I think tomorrow I might do either a freeform sketch session, or I could probably do like how to draw a certain topic. And so anyways, so if you have any suggestions for what you like to see, I'll incorporate the pandas, of course, in all of them. But I also want to just, for those of you who are looking for this as a resource to help your kids learn about how to draw. I'm sure there's a lot of questions about a lot of interest in, say, drawing a certain topic, like maybe eyeballs or plants, or how to draw horses, that sort of thing. That might require me to do a little bit of preparation, but please let me know so that I can get started on that. So anyways, let me just put the finishing touches here. Boy, he's a creepy panda. Yeah, Derek, thanks a lot. So anyways, that's I'm going to give a few more seconds here. But for those who are not familiar with me, my name is Nolan Lee. I'm a independent artist based here in the Seattle area. And if you want to check out more of the Panda stuff, Panda works, go to punchingpandas.com. You can also find the sketches that I do for Scribble Time on punchingpandas.com /Scribble Time. It's in the description of this video. So you can click on that. And all these drawings are sized to 8.5 by 11 letter size. So if you wanted to print them out and do them as like coloring sheets and so forth, you can feel free to do it. Feel free to share it with your friends, family too. I'm just providing this as a free resource to everyone. And also check out the rest of the website. I have videos, animation, other artwork, a blog, and even a shop too. So there's also a what was I going to say? There's also a mailing list. So if you go to punchingpandas.com and scroll down, there's a mailing list, so you can sign up for latest events and updates, and just share it and let people know that if they like pandas, or if they like cartoons or animation, feel free just to forward them over, and it really helps me out, because right now it's a little bit no one can really go outside, so I really appreciate that help with that. So anyways, I'm just gonna call it quits, gonna wrap up the show here. So thanks again. Again, go to punchingpandas.com. I'm going to leave some of my contact info at the end of this video, so that you can look at it and look up those websites or social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, what have you. And you can go and check it out, and like and subscribe. Like this video too, and subscribe if you can, because it really helps me out with this channel. So anyways, you guys have a great one. We'll see you around.